we set the bold goal of being net zero for 2030, we knew that it was going to be a goal that was going to take a lot of decisions over the next decade to ensure that we got there. We want to become the world's greenest airport because we know that flying is an essential part of a connected society and a growing economy. But at the same time, we know that emissions are a part of our industry. It's not flying that's the enemy, it's carbon, and we have to find ways to decarbonize an essential service that is so important. And so we are taking a leadership role in providing a roadmap to net zero that we hope will provide some guidance and inspiration for others to follow.
In working on this roadmap, we had a number of different pathways that were available to us. What we chose for our roadmap was something that was built upon solid technology that we already have in hand.
The most exciting thing about this project is our aggressive commitment to get to zero carbon. You can't manage your emissions footprint without measuring it first. Our footprint is comprised 60% of our heating, 30% of our electricity, 8% our vehicle fleet, and lastly, small sources here on Sea Island. We've outlined 4 building blocks that make up our decarbonization pathways to get to net zero. The first is our green fleet. Second is building energy conservation and electrification. Third is our transition to renewable fuels. And lastly, closing the gap through investment in carbon removals.
At YVR, there are currently 123 light-duty vehicles and 281 heavy-duty vehicles. Our first focus is to really understand what is in our fleet and how we use our fleet vehicles. Where it's possible, we look to electric options first, and then look at the electrical charging infrastructure to support that as well. The plan to electrify our heavy-duty fleet is to see if there are options to electrify, and when there are no options to do that, we will look to renewable fuels, such as renewable diesel.
The opportunity for energy conservation in BC's biggest building is immense because any small change we make with any asset can be replicated thousands of times throughout the building. Natural gas usage within the building is a big driver of our carbon output, so we have to look at how do we heat the water, how do we heat the spaces themselves. We're spending a lot of effort into actually providing opportunities for our partners to actually electrify and actually reduce their carbon footprint as well. Solar is a big opportunity for us because we have a massive roof space, a lot of acreage, and solar will give us the opportunity to preheat water so we don't have to use as much gas, whether it be natural gas or renewable natural gas.
With 60% of our emissions footprint from natural gas sources, we really need to look at a renewable alternative to that. Renewable natural gas is a biogas. The gas is captured and scrubbed and cleaned up and put into the natural gas distribution network.
Renewable natural gas would be a game changer for us because it doesn't take much effort from us to be able to accept it. It's a contract with Fortis BC and our equipment's already set up and we just accept it the next day.
YVR is a carbon neutral airport as of 2020. Closing the gap for us is transitioning our investment from carbon offsets over this plan to carbon removals. A carbon offset is a reduction in a greenhouse gas emission, whereas a removal is directly removing and sequestering that carbon from the atmosphere.
Should new technology come along somewhere along that pathway that is actually faster, smarter, more efficient, we can switch that out. But we know we can get to zero by using what we know already.
We need to have a way of working and an open system that allows us to test technologies to reduce emissions. And we don't need to do that ourselves. We can do that through partnership. One of the sources of inspiration for our roadmap to net zero has been our very significant partnership with the Musqueam community. We are located on the traditional and unceded territory of the Musqueam people, and they have been very generous as custodians of the land, teaching us about how Sea Island, before there was even an airport, was always a gateway through the mouth of the Fraser River. So we're very privileged to be working with partners like Musqueam that really encourage us to take the long view to make sure that the changes that we're making really are lasting and sustainable.
We hope that by taking this bold leap, not only will we be doing right for the planet, but it means we're going to be able to share our success story with our fellow airports, with people in the region, and with companies that actually are looking to figure out how do we decarbonize too.
Our commitment to be net zero by 2030 is absolutely a firm commitment. This is about actually transforming the way we work and in so doing, reducing our GHGs. It's not a strategy that sits on top, it's one that's fundamentally embedded within.